Hi, everyone. This is John and Jackie with OpenLove101.com. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to just jump right into the conversation. And actually, I hate so much that we weren't already rolling because you said something so funny a minute ago. But what we're going to talk about today is, and help me out with this because I want to make sure I get this right. You know, John and I are in this open relationship or consensual non-monogamous relationship or this open marriage or however you want to label it. You know, the point is that our marriage allows us to have intimate relationships with other people besides just John and I. And it's about how that relationship model does not keep us from being able to have friendships with people in other relationship models,
right.
Nor does it keep those people from being friends with us. But we've really had the opportunity in the neighborhood that we're in because our neighborhood is really expansive and inclusive. We have lots of get-togethers. It's kind of this big community. And we've had the opportunity to really be involved in a lot of activities with these other couples that, in large part, would consider themselves to be in traditional monogamous relationships.
Well, we're assuming that everyone. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
One's come up and said, "Hey,
yeah.
With this word."
I mean, we've learned some like vacation spots, maybe, but you know, for the most part, they're functioning at least on the outside as your traditional monogamous relationship, which you know, I think on the outside, you and I would look that same way.
That's true,
right?
Yeah, that's a great point. Sometimes I forget that, you know, because of what we do for a living. I think people just may label us right away, but I don't think we come off that way in just a general setting. Like at the grocery store, people don't say, "Oh my God."
We don't have a neon sign behind us. It's like, you know, swinger or open relationship. You know, we just blend in, and I think that's, you know, one of those other points is you're not going to know, you know, unless that conversation's come up. But what's been interesting, and I think probably especially for you, John, because I was so naive when I got introduced into this relationship model. I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to be talking about it. And John had gone through, you know, decades and decades of being involved in this and a lot of the stigma around it and a lot of the negative media attention and a lot of the negative government attention. You know, there was all of this attention on it that did not put it in a good light. And so there was this kind of necessity to keep that hidden to a degree, just to avoid the pushback or the, you know, some of the other people's really unwelcoming comments and reactions to the lifestyle that you were in and the business that you had.
Right.
You know, so you had a different background in that than I did. Since then, you know, since we've been together, I've seen that. You know, I've seen it firsthand. But what I have really appreciated and what I've really learned to understand is how us having a slightly different relationship model, how it's
a little more than slightly
has enabled us, though, to kind of bring up some conversations with our friends that maybe we wouldn't normally be having, or some of them are curious. They didn't just right off the bat deflect from us or, you know, dismiss us as, you know, something that they shouldn't be involved in. And it's been a really nice, it's just been really nice. It's been really refreshing to have these people realize and understand firsthand that we're really not that different from them.
Yes. It's also been, because there's definitely, I mean, we hear it from you guys all the time, and we feel the same way, is there's a fear sometimes of letting people know who you really, who you are, like what kind of relationship model that we have. And when you're in a strictly monogamous marriage, I don't think that's necessarily even the topic. You don't think anything other than that. Like everywhere you go, you just think it's not like in your mind at all, right? And when you're in a different type of relationship like Jackie and I are, it definitely is in the forefront of your mind. I mean, people ask what I do and how do I answer that? And over the years ago, I would be a little evasive. Today, I'm not so much. Mm-hmm. And we went to one of our neighborhood it's amazing. It has events all the time. And we went to one the other night, and I met this woman, we were just standing by her, and she asked me what I did, and I told her. And I was kind of surprised I did, because in that setting, sometimes I'm a little more
reserved.
Yeah, I don't lie, but I just say I own nightclubs. I don't say specifically, but I was really open about it. And she was really curious. And now I'm not saying it doesn't happen where someone might pull away from that.
Right.
But she didn't, she would engage me in conversation. And I think that's what Jackie's saying is these friendships we're making within our neighborhood. And we really are. I mean, we have some good friends in our neighborhood now, and people are accepting of us. And why in the world would we think that people wouldn't be? Just because of the kind of relationship that we have. And you touched upon it. There could be some fear there that we're going to try and.
Well, I think that's, and you
hit on them,
right. And you wonder if that's a true fear or if that's a fear that we think people are going to have a fear of.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, we can't talk to these people. We can't talk to John and Jackie because they're just going to want to sleep with all of us, or they're going to introduce something that's going to cause some kind of issue. Those are stories.
Or we can't let people know that we're hanging out with them because they're going to think
we
are just like them.
Exactly.
And we have had that happen.
Well, we have had that happen, which is really sad. But, I think sometimes you have to kind of face the truth of how much of the storyline is actually out there and how much of the storyline is something I'm creating in my own head because of maybe my own stigma or my own fear or my own judgment or my inability to want to accept the consequences that maybe somebody will pull back, that maybe somebody will have an issue and that somebody maybe won't want to hang out with me. But, where I'm coming from is if you can't accept me in my truth, I don't know. I mean, it's too important for me to live within the space that I'm living in because this is my life. This is the journey I'm on. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I want people to love and accept me, but I also, by the same token, understand that that's not always going to happen. And, I have to be willing to let that scale kind of balance itself out and be accepting of that, and really be grateful for those people that see beyond the label of what it is that we do and take the time to get to know us for the people that we are. Mm-hmm. And what's been so interesting is, as a byproduct of this, is that I have been able to have some conversations with some of those people about some really important topics because I have a different vantage point, right? If you're really myopic about a certain view, you may not understand that there's a different angle. There's a different side that you can see it that maybe it's like, wow, I never thought of seeing it from that side. And to me, that's something that you and I have to offer because we have a different approach to our relationship. So we have a different approach to our honesty. We have a different approach to our communication. We have a different approach to our sexuality. We have a different approach to our voice. We have a different approach to our tenacity. We have there's just all of these different ways that we see something that could really be an asset to someone else. And so to see you and I transition out of that fear of who we are as far as the relationship model, and into something that's really empowering, and that we now know we have something so spectacular to offer that we want you to know who we are. Because if it means we can help you, I can't think of anything better.
Or just to be, friends.
Or to be friends, or to be able to be the loving people that we are. And, it goes back to the disservice that we're keeping ourselves from by allowing these other people to see our truth, to let them decide what it is that they want. And if I keep that secret from them, I take that away from them.
The other thing I think has happened is when people are unfamiliar with, like, a different relationship model, for instance, like ours, they have preconceived notions about it, and they can be judgmental about it and so on. And what I've seen is we're making friends with people, and they're seeing that how much in love we are. Like, I don't know what they're thinking, but I know people have said, I've always thought that, swingers are like this, and it's like, big orgies, and they don't really love each other. It's almost like cheat, why would they be doing this if they really loved each other? We see that all the time.
All the time.
And people are seeing that that's not the way it is, because I think they really see the love you and I have for each other.
They do.
And the commitment, and how much we enjoy each other's company, and how we are as individuals. And I want to say to everyone out there, we have so many friends in the lifestyle, and we know you guys, you're just wonderful people. And that's the thing I think that we should all be focusing on,
right,
and thinking about, is not to be worried about our relationship model, but understand and have the confidence to know that you're good people. And that's what people are going to see. Yeah. Once they get past the fact of, if they find out that you're in an open relationship or you're swingers or whatever it is, once they get past that, they're always going to fall back onto who you are as a person. And with people that we've met in other relationships, relationship models, we do the same thing. We don't. Maybe initially there's been, over the years, maybe I've judged someone or had a thought about someone in the kind of relationship they're in or what they do. But once if you take the time to get to know somebody, you get to know them for who they are. And maybe they don't have qualities that you really, they have, that you don't want to be around, but maybe they do have good quality. Everyone's different. We're all human. We have.
Right. Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I think what's happening for us in the people that we're hanging out with is they're getting to know us. They've overcome the fact that we're in an open relationship, and they're getting to know us as people.
Right.
And when I hear, people out there in the lifestyle that have this fear of coming out, or what if someone finds out?
What are they going to think of me?
They're going to think of you about who you are. Maybe initially there may be some trepidation about what you are in your relationship model, but eventually they're going to come back to, that's a good couple. They're in love, and they bring a lot to the table, and they bring a lot to our community, and that's what they're going to gravitate towards.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing.
You have to trust what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You have to love what you're doing. You have to trust what you're doing. You have to, if you can't be a cheerleader for your own relationship, don't expect other people to be. You're the one that has to just, and it's not even so much about labels. It's about, gosh, look at this couple. They have the great relationship. If they have a great relationship, does it really matter what the relationship model is?
The other thing that has come out of this is I've met people, and I'm not saying in my neighborhood necessarily, but in situations where we have, been talked about who we are in our relationship model, people will pull me aside and say, oh, you know what? My wife and I went to Desire. Do you know what that is? I'm like, oh yeah, we do. We know. That you can end up meeting people that are maybe open-minded like you.
Yes.
It's with anything. The way we eat. Jackie and I eat plant-based. And when we bring it up, there's times when we bring it up, other people in the group or at the table will say, hey, me too. And you can have a conversation about it. Same with your relationship model.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Now we get the fear and we get the repercussions that can happen if your job finds out, certain jobs aren't going to be accepting of it.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that conversation.
Yeah, we get it. There's a lot of fear about what your family will think about. My fear when Jackie and I were going to meet her mom for the first time was, what's her mom going to think about me when she finds out what I do? And then Jackie had already told her mom, and her mom was accepting of it. But that wasn't always the case when I was dating somebody. The parents would find out and say, oh, yeah, you can't be going out with that guy.
Right.
Without even taking the opportunity to get to know me. Yeah. And that's really sad.
Yeah.
But we put ourselves out there, and we've been honest about who we are. And we're really having a great time with our monogamous friends. And it feels really good to me for them to know who we are.
It does me too. So yay. Yay to us and yay to our neighbors for being so awesome.
Thanks for that topic, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Be sure and sign up at openlove101.com to our email list, and we'll notify you of upcoming videos and blogs. Also, you can hit the blue bell here, and we'll notify you of upcoming videos here on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.
So did you like that video? Then be sure and click on that subscribe button below, and you'll be guaranteed great sex the rest of your life.